Hello there, I'm Bob Rickard, president of the Eureka Concert and Film Center, a newly formed non-profit organization devoted to bringing the best of concerts and live performances to Eureka, along with classic films. We're located here at the corner of 7th and F Street in what is to be known as the Cultural Arts District of Eureka. Across the street is the Eureka Inn. On this corner here of 7th and F is the Moritz Graves Gallery, home of the Humboldt Arts Center. And next door, appropriately placed, is the former Eureka Theater, now to be known as the Eureka Concert and Film Center. We're taking you on a walking tour of this area out here and also of the building inside to show you what is going on inside in the way of remodeling to bring it up to par and used for what we have in mind. We're standing in front of the Eureka Theater now. This theater was built or opened for business in 1939. It's a 1,700-seat Art Deco design motion picture theater. In the building itself, there is 2 rental offices on the side and a 3-bedroom apartment upstairs. It's been occupied for a number of years. This theater was built by Redwood Theaters, namely George Mann's Redwood Theaters, who ran numerous movie theaters in this area of Humboldt County for years and years since the 1920s. This theater was the largest theater north of San Francisco and to this day remains the largest motion picture theater north of San Francisco. It closed in 1996 when competition for multiplexes created hard times for a single screen or triplex theater. But as I said, we're in the process of restoration of this building to use for concert halls and live performance and classic movies. Last January, the earlier part of this year, I was walking in front of the Eureka Theater, remembering the days as a teenager when I worked here. I had noticed the windows broken out of the box office here, and all those memories came flooding back as to when I worked here. I started in here when I was about 14 years old. I felt really bad seeing it going downhill, so to speak, so I called the owner of the building, George Mann II, and it was his father, his grandfather that I originally worked for. I called George Mann II and told him the situation here, that the people had kicked the glass out of the box office here, and asked him for permission to board it in with plywood to stop any further destruction. But after quite a conversation, and he found out who I was and what interest I had in the theater, he told me to go ahead and close it in. A day or two later, I got a call from George Mann and asking if I would consider being caretaker of this building. And I jumped at the chance. I didn't want to see any more destruction of the building and hoped someday that it could be restored and used for various venues in Eureka and for people of the surrounding area. So he gave permission to close it in, so in that respect, we've stopped any further destruction. So now, if you would like, we'll walk into the theater itself and show you exactly what we're doing. I've just walked through the front doors of the theater through the storm vestibule, they call it, with 8 sets of double doors here. And over to this door here, I wanted to point out this style of Art Deco design on this door here. A lot of them over the years have been broken out. This is a remaining pair here. And also the glass in the box office had the same design. This is etched glass, as you can see, and the pattern follows clear through the theater. So when we restore the glass in the box office, it will have the same design on it as you see here. This is a good example of Art Deco design here, as well as the windows. In the foyer of the theater here is more examples the Art Deco design that was popular between the First and Second World Wars. It's a mixture of streamlined design with old world classics, is what I understand. So Art Deco has been used in many buildings around the world and around the country. According to what I've read and heard, the best example of Art Deco design is the Empire State Building in New York. But this theater here is a classic example of Art Deco, with the rails, the aluminum handrails going to the mezzanine upstairs. We're walking towards the ladies' restroom here, their toilet facilities. As you can see, we are in the middle of restoration. That's why you see rolls of carpets and things stored in various places. This is the entrance to the ladies' powder room, done in a grand Art Deco design. If you notice on the ceiling, the way they did it years and years ago. Remember, this theater was constructed 60 years ago, and this was the tops in building construction in those days. Normally these lights are lit up, but there happens to be a problem in here today. But anyway, this mirror is well lit at times. So this gives you an idea of the grandeur they provided for their lady patrons in the years gone by. We're going to the mezzanine area of the theater, where the balcony and loge section is situated. Here's another example of the Art Deco of the time. The mezzanine area is located upstairs here as a waiting area between shows. As you notice up here, the handrails follow the building design in a circular pattern upstairs. This is all aluminum made in the 30s. A great craftsman job that someone in the area did. As we enter the mezzanine area, if you'll notice the vase that's been sitting here for 60-odd years that held flowers and plants in the past. The mezzanine area up here was equipped with benches, or soft benches and seats at one time, where people would wait for the show to end, or as they say, break in those days, and to avoid walking in the middle of a movie. So people would sit here and smoke a cigarette when it was permitted and just wait for the movie to end. There's restroom facilities on this level of the building also, men's and ladies. And as you see here, there's two entrances to the loge and balcony area. The chandeliers you see sitting here have been stored for the last 20 years. They were suspended from the main auditorium at one time. But when they built the small theaters upstairs, they had to remove these. These are lowered on cables from the attic of this building. It's the only way you could get to, was able to relamp them. They were lowered down approximately 80 feet to where they could be reached and new bulbs put in, and then they were winched back up again. So that's the process we'll go through to get them rehung. If you'll notice the carpet on the floor here, we have many rolls to replace this with. This carpet is the motif that seems to go through the building is the horse pattern here, and in the auditorium you'll notice the two large murals on the side have the similar motif of the carpets that the carpet has here of the horse. So like I say, all this carpet will be replaced with existing carpet that we have on hand. This carpet, incidentally, was made in Scotland and ordered by the company in great quantity. We're standing in one of the entrances to the lobby, to the loge and balcony section of this theater. Off to my right here is the former usherette's dressing room. This dressing room is equipped with wall mirrors and lights, not unlike a dressing room of a movie star nowadays. The young ladies would change their costumes or their uniforms in here. In the days when they wore uniforms, this is where they would change their uniform and comb their hair and relax on their break. I remember the days when this was a very appealing room. Not that I visited it much, but we're now standing in the upper portion of the theater known as the balcony. This section that I'm in is referred to as the loads section. In this direction is the upper balcony. The loads section had a little higher price, but the reason for that is the seats were a better quality, more legroom in between, and which gave much more comfort. This was an exceptionally good viewing area when this was a single screen theater. If you recall, it's like you can see, it's been twinned. This is just half of the balcony. The other side is just as wide and large. There's approximately 500 seats up in this area, which makes the total seating capacity of this theater around 1,500. I'm sitting in the upper balcony, of course. The seating and the viewing area from here to the large screen, approximately 200 feet away, is exceptional. In this area, in the days past, they would allow smoking. Many people preferred to sit in the balcony for privacy and to be able to smoke and enjoy the movie from this area. We will completely restore this. All these seats will be removed, cleaned, and all recovered. So we have a big job ahead of us in this area. There hasn't been any heat in this part of the building for 4 years. As a consequence, you can see the mildew on these seats. But when we get through with it, it looked like it did on opening night in 1939. I'm standing on the stage of theater number 1 upstairs. We just visited the one next door. 22 years ago in 1978, this theater was split up into 2 theaters upstairs. So what we're doing, and I can't wait, is to remove all this wall, this stage, this wall over here, and make one big balcony out of it like it used to be. So there's going to be 500 seats up here, all in one big room, the way the theater was intended to be when it was built. So all this will be removed along with this wall. As you can see here, the acoustic material has fallen from the ceiling. The acoustic, of course, is used for sound deadening and to keep the sound from reverberating all through the theater. Leaks in the roof in the past have caused this to loosen and fall to the floor here. This section of the roof has been repaired, so once this is cleaned up and this all repaired, naturally we don't expect to experience this anymore. But this will be all cleaned, seats all removed, floor repainted here, as well as the walls, and hopefully we won't see this sort of a mess anymore in this theater. Of course, this part of the theater hasn't been used for years. The main auditorium downstairs has been used over the years, so it's in no condition like this. But as you can see, that we have a big repair job in the ceilings up here in the lobby, up here in the balcony. We're here in the main projection room of this theater, on the top story. We're about 3 stories up here. This projection room here served the 2 smaller theaters, when it last operated. We have plans to restore this projection room to the way it originally was when it was operated as a one-screen theater. We're going back to what they call carbon arc projection. That's like 2 welding rods that come together and give off this immensely bright light. These particular projectors here use what's called a xenon bulb. It's a bulb-type projector. The reason we're going back to the xenon or the carbon arc, it gives a brighter, cleaner, more natural light. Some people, some projectionists may argue the point, but I'm convinced we get a better light with carbon arc. This is a simplex 35 millimeter simplex XL projector that we'll be using upstairs. One When we switch over to the original carbon arc, we'll use 2 projectors. In this setup here, they use 1 projector and spliced all the film together to use here in what they call a platter. They can put a double feature on these 2 platters here that automatically feed. We are going back to 2 machines with carbon arc light source. Everything here will remain the same, only the lamp house will be different, as I say, with the carbon arc light source. This is an example here of a xenon bulb used in these particular projectors, lamp houses. This is a 1,500 watt bulb that costs about $900 a piece. So, and they don't give out the light quality. They don't give the picture quality or light of carbon arc does. Incidentally, a point of interest is the completely renovated 3,000-seat theater in Jersey City, New Jersey, that they restored and went back to carbon arc. They also believe that you get a better picture quality with carbon arc light source. So we want to offer the patrons that come to the restored Eureka Theater the best in screen brightness and screen color. We're all anxious to see the Fox musicals of the 50s and 60s projected with carbon arc, seen the way they're meant to be on the big screen. This is a piece of older equipment here used years ago in a single screen theater where you rewound the film. Modern day theaters don't use this type of equipment anymore, but we will put the film in this rewind, and if I can see it here, and it would rewind it automatically for us. Anyway, it goes in the slot, and you start it by going this way. This 35 millimeter film, boy, it needs some grease, and that's an automatic rewind. This film, as you know, is threaded through a movie projector and travels through at the rate of 90 feet a minute, or for sound speed, 24 frames a second. So, as I said earlier, now in all the multiplexes nowadays, they splice the 5 or 6 reels together and put them on that platter, and it runs continuously without much operator assistance. So this is just an older piece of equipment that I wanted to point out to you. This contraption built into the wall here is a dumbwaiter that brings movie film up to the projection room from downstairs. Remember, we're 3 stories up here, and a full feature is usually 5 or 6 reels. It weighs about 70 pounds. This, what you see here, is only 1 reel. It runs about 20 minutes. But this beats carrying the 70-pound can of film upstairs. So we set it in the dumbwaiter here, and it brings it up and down. And when you're through with the film, you just send it down that way. One day I was up here doing something when I was about 14 or 15 years old, and I thought, well, why should I walk clear downstairs? I'll take a shortcut and ride down in this dumbwaiter. But in those days, it didn't have the electric motor to it. It had a rope on it, and you'd let yourself down with a rope. Well, I started out fine, but got down a few feet, and the rope started to burn my hands, and I had to let go. So next thing I knew, I had fallen to 3 stories down with no broken bones. I survived it all right, but it was quite a shock. This is one of the window panes we rescued from the box office out in front. We have 1 more, but the other 3 or 4 have disappeared over the years. This is etched glass, as you can see, and the cashier slid the tickets or whatever through here, but we'll replace the box office with all glass with this same design here. So it ought to be really attractive once it's all restored and the glass put back into the box office. We're now in the main auditorium of the Eureka Theater. As you can see, there's construction and cleaning going on. There's 1,000 seats downstairs in the theater that will all be removed and completely recovered, and along with the walls and ceilings. As you notice here, when they built the 2 small theaters upstairs, they enlarged the balcony. They built it out there around 25 feet or so. So this will be removed and opened up so we can see the screen from the balcony. This was put on later when they twinned that theater upstairs. That is one of the 6 chandeliers suspended from the ceilings. These are the ones I were talking about that are lowered on a winch affair from the attic up there. This one, as you notice, needs to be completely relamped. Half the colors are burnt out. The globes, like I say, need to be replaced. You can see the damage done over the years to the ceiling here that needs to be completely worked over and repainted. Naturally, the mural on this wall here will be restored. All these colors will be redone, like the gold leaf alongside of it. The years has taken its toll on the mural, of course. We don't expect it to be repainted because that is really not restoring something. So we hope to have it cleaned in a very delicate way to bring out the design and quality of that mural. So we have to be really careful what we do there, but we have people in our committee that understand this type of work or have connections with people that do. So this is one of the great benefits of this auditorium, is restoring this mural on this particular wall. Above the screen, you notice 3 murals that look like, to me, like a Greek revival motif. Although I'm not sure what it represents, it's something that will be completely restored and cleaned. The years have also taken its toll here on the artwork in this building. Between the cigarette smoke over the years and the heating fumes that come out of these ventilators on the side, out of these blowers, it's really covered the mural and artwork in the auditorium. But it'll all be cleaned and restored in the best possible way that we can handle it, along with all the painting done in the original colors. In the newspaper that we found of 1939, it explained every color in this building. So when we do our repainting, we know the exact name of the original colors. So when it is all painted, it'll be the original colors as it was 61 years ago. Coming down from the screen, or from the murals on top, you'll see that curtain hanging there. That is what they call a waterfall curtain that comes down in sections, like water dripping, which needs to be completely restored. I remember the days when it worked properly. It's a beautiful curtain that lowers itself. So that's one of our priorities, is to get that curtain redone, as well as all the rest of the draperies. When this theater was built, it never did have a large stage. It was built solely for motion pictures, so there was no reason to have a large stage on it. We are in the process of building a full-use stage for this building. It goes along with our plans for a concert hall, live performances, and live stage shows, as well as symphonies, music groups. We'll be equipped to handle any type in this venue here. So as you can see, we've already removed some seats in preparation for stage construction. A local architect in town is designing this stage for us that will come out approximately 30 feet from the screen and be about 40 feet wide. So this theater, when we're through with it, this concert hall will have a stage that can adequately hold any performance someone might be interested in doing. That's one of the things that we're proud of, is the stage that we will have here to offer. We're standing on the stage of the theater under reconstruction here. As you notice, the seats are still about 1,000 seats left downstairs. This area directly in front of us has been all cleaned in preparation to expand the stage out. Like I said earlier, we'll have the stage approximately 40 feet wide and 30 feet deep, capable of holding everything from ballet to symphonies to live performance, musical groups, anything that people are interested in doing as a way of presenting entertainment. That's our main reason for restoring this theater, bringing it back the way it used to be. We want the young people of the community to be able to get involved in live presentations. The band members, the people that have their bands with no place to perform. Our promise is to offer a place where people can perform and learn and get experience. The rent for this building will not be unreasonable. We promise and we vow to make it work for different groups. It's not going to be like other venues in Eureka where the rental charge keeps the small time and just beginners from performing. So we vow to make it available to everyone. That's our real promise. And we had that printed in order to gain our nonprofit status. As you see, and as I said before, we cannot do this without your help. Financial help is what it takes to bring all this together. A local person in town has been generous enough to help us get this far by getting this building in our name, our nonprofit corporation. So now with the rest of the community pitching in with volunteer and financial help, it'll certainly be a reality. One of the programs we offer is to buy a seat, and you have your name on the armrest forever if you'll donate a certain amount of money. There's different ways to donate money to our facility here. We have handbills in circulation that tell what you can do. So we certainly appreciate all the help, and we really need all the help that we can from the community to make this come true. So please join the effort to save the historic Eureka Theater and create a concert hall for classic films and the performing arts. The Eureka Concert and Film Center, it's Eureka's theater.